Hello, I'm Herman Middleton, and welcome back to You Are Not a Machine. In an earlier video, I introduced you to the great academic and cultural critic Neil Postman, who coined the term media ecology and who founded the media ecology program at NYU. The third Neil Postman quote we're going to look at is also from his best-known work, Amusing Ourselves to Death. Here's the quote. Television is our culture's principal mode of knowing about itself. Therefore, and this is the critical point, how television stages the world becomes the model for how the world is properly to be staged. One of the dangerous things about technology is that once it becomes embedded in society, its unintended side effects and the changes it creates become very difficult to discern. Happily for us, Neil Postman wrote an entire book looking at television and considering its unintended consequences on society. And we will eventually read this book together. So stay tuned. Speaking of staying tuned, if you haven't already, please sign up for the newsletter and download the How Did We Get Here reading list. As always, link below. It's hard to properly appreciate now, but the introduction of television had incredibly profound effects on our society. One of the chief effects was that television has become one of the main ways our culture understands itself. How television presents the world influences our perception of reality. One classic example of how this works can be seen in the experiments of social psychologists Douglas T. Kenrick and Stephen Newberg, whose research provides a strong argument, for example, that exposure to more physically attractive potential mates decreases the subject's commitment to their current partners. This is just one example. Humans are deeply affected by what we see, and since its introduction to our society, television sets the standard for how we think the world should be, and in turn it shapes our opinions, our values, and our cultural norms. The great historian, literary critic, and philosopher René Girard referred to this tendency within humans as mimetic theory. Here's a quote from Girard. Man is the creature who does not know what to desire, and he turns to others in order to make up his mind. We desire what others desire, because we imitate their desires. Girard is a very important figure, and we will eventually discuss him and his ideas in greater depth. For now, it's simply important to note that television both reflects and actively shapes our culture. If we are to preserve our internal freedom and to find our true selves, we need to recognize how television can influence our perceptions. As a general rule, You Are Not a Machine promotes a low media diet. And in future videos, I will discuss this in greater depth. For now, I simply want to point out what a profound impact media, and in this particular case, television, has on ourselves and on society. So if you were ever tempted to think that television can be a neutral force, I hope this discussion has helped to disavow you of that delusion. Ultimately, each of us must use our free will to make important decisions about what is important to us, who we want to be, and what influences we want to have in our life. At very least, through looking at technology in this way, we will have a better understanding of the nature of these decisions. So that's it for today. Again, if you haven't already downloaded the How Did We Get Here reading list, please do that now. As always, there's a link below the video. Thanks so much, and I will see you again soon.